All right. So I am slightly early, and this time I'll do something slightly different. I'm gonna hide my face because my face does not contribute anything to the dissemination of information. So we'll just stick with the screenshot. And I'm also in Japan, so I'm out of my comfort zone in a sense. So I don't have the reliable connection that I usually rely on. And last time I tried to live stream, I was in Hokkaido, and that didn't turn out very well because my connection went crazy. All right. Okay, so welcome everybody to another live stream of Momen. And today, what I'm gonna do is essentially take you through how to use our newly modified and improved Moment Vibe architect to build something, well, to build multiple things based on Moment's backend and using Lovable as the front end builder. So Moment is this full stack, no code web app development platform. We, of course, let you build both the front end and the back end, but for certain cases, you may want a quick and dirty front end, and but at the same time, you do want a functioning back end. And also, for those who have been using vibe coding and does not have the experience of coding, looking at the stuff that's generated by either Lovable or Cursor may become a bit difficult to comprehend, especially when it comes to the backend stuff. Because on the front end, at least you can see how it functions, but on the back end, you kind of have to imagine what it did. And that's usually a lot more difficult than the front end. So with Momen and Lovable or Cursor for that matter, but for today's live stream, we're gonna only do Lovable. You end up with something like a front end that you can understand and a back end that you can understand as well. So cool. So this let's go to the Vibe Architect page, right? So the Vibe Architect is gonna have multiple incarnations. One for Lovable, and then we're gonna make one for Cursor. We'll probably make one for Claude Code or whatever. We're gonna tailor each to the specific quirks of that particular tool. I've been working on a lot of Cursor rules for that matter, but I won't be able to show you this time. But for next time, when I showcase the Cursor Vibe Architect, we'll be able to see that. Now, so what is the Lovable Vibe Architect? So we are going to let you integrate AI agents that are built out of Moment, and all you need to do is just copy its configuration and then paste it in somewhere here. You will paste it in, and you will get a Lovable prompt that is ready to be used in Lovable. We also will provide you with 3 pre-built applications that are powered by AI, and we'll also show you what is actually inside it. There is a read-only shared, like a read-only invitation code that's embedded in this view config thing, and you can also copy the prompt directly. So what are these? So let's try them out first. The first one is the task Genie. So we'll try this one out. We'll start building it on Lovable, and then while we're building it, we'll see what is actually, how is this thing built. Okay, so it says Smart Task Organizer. With the G, that has a little bit of the underside cut off. That's a problem with line height. A very common issue to have. Okay, so you need to start planning. It takes me to login page because apparently you can be logged in. I don't know if I have an account, so we'll try. I already have an account. Cool. Describe your task or upload a screenshot. Eating many Wagyu like barbecues before I return to the USA by October 11th. Okay, so that seems reasonable enough. Let's see what it gives us. It might get it wrong, by the way, because the I actually got it right. That's not too bad. Eating many Wagyu barbecues before returning to the USA. So we got a task. Even cooler, let's try some fake stuff. So we're going to go to my calendar. Oops. And we are going to find a fake calendar event on the 1st of December, which is this Stanford University thing. And we are going to just take a screenshot. Actually, hold on. I need to save it. So I'm gonna use the wait, what? I'm gonna screenshot, and I'm gonna save it. And then I'm gonna upload it. That's my screenshot. It's okay. It's basically this Stanford University thing. I'm going to Stanford University on the 1st of December. Obviously, that's fake, but let's try. Oh, that's not good. It did not do anything for me, so that's unfortunate. Anyway, so let's try to see what it is made out of, and then let's try to generate a prompt based on it. So first of all, let's click on this view config. This will take me to the read-only shared link to this particular Momen application. It is full stack, but since we're using it only as a backend, we have a completely useless front end. And on the within it, you have add to do and change to do information, and you have an agent that takes. Well, it's even said it's a screenshot. I don't know why it did not do it, but anyways, so that's what it does. And the only thing you need to do is to copy this particular AI agent's configuration and go down here and paste it in. You will get a lovable prompt that you can hopefully use. We may or may not use this one, or if you're lazy and you don't want to go through the whole motion, just click on this copy prompt thing, and that should be enough for starting with Lovable. And before we go in and dissect what is inside the AI to-do manager, we're going to go into Lovable. And in this case, I am completely out of credits. So unfortunately, I will have to sign in into a different account, one which I have paid for. Now, Lovable is actually quite expensive for every single click. I think it's you get 100 credits per $20. So for each credit, that is 20 cents. It's not cheap by any means. So if you keep debugging inside Lovable, you will very soon run out of money. I have 34 left. So after I click, we'll see how much I have left. Okay, so we'll let it generate. Now, before we go into what is inside the prompt, we will look at what is inside Moments, the backend of the application. The core of it, obviously, is the AI to-do manager. I did not build this. It may contain a lot of crazy stuff, so bear with me and let's go through this together. User message is whatever the user had typed, and that should come from here. That's the user message. And screenshot is whatever the user has uploaded. That's this guy over here. You are a to-do manager. You need to determine the following scenarios based on the user's provided screenshot description that tell me what to-do list. You can either add a new to-do or and obviously that's add a new to-do if the user provides a description of screenshot of to-do. First, create user to-do list to check for duplicate entries. If no duplicate exists, proceed to add a new one. And the default is going to be pending, and the priority is default P2. Otherwise, if it has like important or urgent, it's going to be P1 or P0. And you are going to sort it. I don't know why you need to sort anything. Oh, that's probably coming from here. And this is completely wrong, by the way, because in the context, the AI cannot change the sort method because everything here is predetermined. You cannot change the sort method here. The only way you can change the sort method is if you add one action flow that fetches the data for the AI, and within the action flow, you have ways to change the sorting based on some input, right? So this does not make any sense. By deadline, also that doesn't make any sense, but the AI probably does something reasonable. Change it to do information. Let's see. Okay, so you can use change to do information to change it to do information. I don't know why that's called information, but whatever. If the user states have finished something, modify the to-do status. Okay, so let's try to do that. I have eaten enough Wagyus already. Let's see what it does. I'm also going to delete that. Also, we did not ask the ask ChatGPT. So let's see. Completed. Okay, that's not bad. So we have completed our Wagyu eating task. That's reasonably good. If it already has passed the current time with the wrong missing R here, change its status to, well, it should be delayed, not delay, but whatever. Let's fix it for them. Here's a missing space. Okay, so I mean, missing space doesn't really hurt the AI that much, but it just hurts me, right? I hate it when these things don't match up. If the to-do item that the user wants, if the user wants to cancel, if the user wants to cancel a to-do item, change the status, and here's a space, and there's an additional space, and there's a space. Mind you, I did not build this. Somebody built this, okay? It has a lot of weird stuff with it. If a user wants to change the deadline of a to-do item, you can also use a change it to modify it. Okay, so that's not bad. User's description is, okay, so the other thing is avoid using single pounds. I'll explain that in a moment. That seems, yeah, I was like, this is 2 spaces. And here we have 2 spaces as well. User description is that or it is found in the image. Current date is. That's like 2 spaces? No, that's a single space. Users, not description, users message, because that was the message. Is that okay? So that's what it does. It has 2 tools which it can use. One is called add to do, which does not have a space or anything, so it doesn't even have camel case. So if I were that person, why does it have a name that does not have casing? That's bad. And also we should delete this. Right? The reason the all deletion doesn't work because I'm in a read-only project. I can't actually modify anything. Neither can you. It may appear they're gone, but if you just go back and come back, it's all back. It doesn't. You can't change anything. All right, such is life. Add to do. What does it have? Has no descriptions whatsoever. Let's take a look at data. Take a look at what the this thing did. So we sent in an image, which is this guy, and the result was okay. So it doesn't have any result. It did not think that was a new to do to be added. And the model that we're using is GPT-5, which tells you something about what GPT-5 is capable of. So essentially, okay, the other thing is we want to check out what change to do information add to do actually does. Add to do just takes a to do title, a status, a due date, and a priority, and then okay, that's fine. And just inserts. This is an insert data, inserts that into the to-do list. And also, this is a horrible way to name your table. Never name your table as a plural or something list, because a table is by definition a list. Okay, so what if you got a single to-do item from the table? It's going to be called a to-do list, a single to-do list. It's completely wrong. So this is a horrible way of naming your table. Don't do it that way. And yeah, so that's what it does. That's all it does. So it's just going to add something to it. This one should be fairly simple. It gets the current user ID and then given, but it only changes status and the due date depending on the new input. And the filter is that it's equal to the to-do item that's passed in, and then that to-do item is actually passed in the input of the action flow. And the other thing to not to do is don't use inconsistent casing. It drives me crazy. It will drive everybody crazy. The reason is that once you do that, there's some meaningless variation of your inside your project, right? Why is this capital S? Why is this not capital T? It's just additional cognitive load that does no good to everybody, to anyone. So that's what it does. Fairly simple. And let's take a look at what Lovable has built for us with this prompt. We're gonna run through this and then we will try to dissect what's inside the prompt. So we're gonna click start planning. It takes us to the login page, or we can click login. It will take us to the login page. I've already registered, so we're gonna stick it because it's the same backend. We're gonna use the same login information. So we're now logged in. We can start planning, and I'm gonna choose an image, And let's choose this one and see what happens. Okay, so this one is already broken. The way you can try to fix it is if we click it again. We don't even need that, but this is obviously wrong. So we can send this to Lovable and ask it to hopefully fix it. It's a non-negligible chance that it will get it wrong again. But that is AI coding for you. It is very different from predictably writing some code of your own or using a visual programming tool like Momen to build out the actual workflow, because then everything is predictable. You know exactly what's going on. So that might be it. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, that's not bad. It is working. Recent conversations loaded. I don't know why it's loading the recent conversation, but whatever. So it has extracted tasks. It has now added attend Stanford University event on Monday, and the status is pending, not completed. So that's good, but obviously we need different visual cues for different status. So use different visual cues for the status for different status. There are pending, completed, and canceled. I think now within the AI it was spelled with a single L, but I usually spell with two, but it doesn't matter. So that should give us a fairly decent representation of the tasks. So let's also go back to here to try to, I'm gonna delete. Yeah, this is a horrible name, to-do list. Oh, I can't even delete it because I don't have editing permissions, which also tells you I did not build this particular project. It has so many flaws. Actually, all three of them have just a lot of bad practices within them, right? So yeah, so this is good. This is good. Now we have the completed one, which are green with a strike through and a checkbox. Pending is a so okay, so that's not bad. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. Can I get rid of this guy? I cannot, but let's see. Cancel the Stanford one. See what it does. I really should be able to get rid of this particular, like, clear reset the entire input. All the inputs should be reset after we submit something, but since we don't have that capability, we're just going to stick with it. You can add it to the prompt. Oh yeah, that's good. So this is a strike through, that's canceled, and it's gray. So that's pretty good. So that's cool. So let's take a look at what's inside this prompt thing. You got a background, a task, and then you have the requirement of that particular application. So it's an AI assistant. This AI assists the user in managing their to-do list efficiently by interpreting text descriptions. Why is it called text input should be good. Anyways, that's because probably because of the name of it, that particular name inside the prompt. To automate the task addition and management. All right. By the way, this part is actually generated by an AI. There is an AI agent behind this convert button. So whenever you click that, the AI generates part of the prompt. So this is pretty meta. You got an AI generating a prompt for another AI. Okay, so And by the way, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate. Just ask away. I don't charge you for any questions. Okay, so target users, application scenario, core functions, UI style. And these are for the things here. That's for showcasing the world. These are built by Momen. And if you do click this, this will take you to a fairly fancy X post. I'm going to just post that. So that is also fairly easy to be built. Okay. And that's a watermark. Here's the important stuff. You got, I mean, I could get rid of React, or actually I can get rid of the entire front end because Lovable has its own front end stack and you can't really change it. So that can be removed entirely. State management is fairly important. This is probably not useful. React context is probably good enough. We should also have like an API layer that just uses Apollo GraphQL, but AIs are smart enough to figure out that this is going to apply to be applicable to the actual communication between the front end and the back end. Image processing is quite important because there are specific rules that has to be followed if you were to upload anything onto Momen. And here we got the technical stuff about which libraries to use. And this is how you interact with the backend. And now you got a reference implementation of Apollo client, and that is just an example that we show AI. We will probably find that inside AI's generated code. And yeah, so that goes on to here, and then this is how you to log in and register, and then this is how to deal. All this part is how to deal with the authentication token that was generated during authentication. And then this is how you handle the actual files, because you have specific APIs you have to call for different files, and some of them are, video specific, some of them are image specific, and this is how to do the the upload, and this is how to get recent conversations. Well, you may or may want this. A conversation is just something that you did with an AI. We have abstracted them into conversations with the AI. And then here's how you do actual invocations with an AI agent that's built in Momen. It's just create conversation and then listen to it with a subscription. And we also list out the types and names of the inputs. So that will be helpful for AI to figure out what goes in where. And this is the output format. And then this is useful because this thing is quite useful because the output format determines how the AI can lay out things in a structured way. For example, here, the AI was able to figure out that something is already done, and also like if there's some new thing that's generated. And then you have miscellaneous stuff and how to lay out the landing page, but those are all fairly tangential concerns. Okay, so that's one of the examples. And if you want to give it a try, just go into Vibe Architect and just copy the first prompt, and you'll be able to get a AI task manager. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect. It's just it's more of a demo quality stuff. Next one we're going to be looking at is this food stat thing. I'm going to close this, I'm going to close this, and I'm going to close that. And so if we try to click start planning, let's see if I have an account with this as well. I have an account. Okay. So we'll click onto it. It asks us to upload an image, and I will upload a lot of meat. Some of you might have seen me using this image before. It's just a plate of a bunch of barbecue stuff. We're going to analyze it. Let's wait for the result. And yeah, so it has recognized as food. All right. It has recognized a lot of foods, and each of them have different calorific content, and it has some nutritional advice. So how was that done? First, we're going to look at its config, and we're going to copy the prompt that came with this example. We'll run it, and it will, while it's running, we are going to go back into Momen's editor and see how this project is built. So the same user interface, which means basically no user interface. And we have a single action flow and a single AI agent. The AI agent takes one input, which is the image. And again, here, this is bad practice. Don't use these. The reason is, okay, I'm going to show you why. These were some examples that I ran before. Look at what this is. Okay, so we'll mark down preview. Let's put it in. Nope. No. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Because this is actually like a H3. Then we have like an H1. You see that? This is why it's weird. You have an H3, and then you got an H2, an H1 within H3, and an H2 within an H3 as well. So yeah, like this is just bad. So don't do that. But for maybe it's fortunate or unfortunate, the AI is able to figure out why, like what actually you're trying to achieve. So in the end, this is trying to calculate, trying to recognize food, and then find the calorie density of that food, macronutrients, and identify macronutrients and micronutrients of that food. And then we're going to generate like a list of calories, and then eventually we're going to generate some suggestions based on the instructions here. And the output is, again, don't blame me. This says foodie name, but it's a food name. Calories, so that should be fine. And nutritional advice, macronutrient analysis, micronutrient analysis, healthy eating suggestions. All right, that's not too bad. And you got total calories and is food. If I were doing this, I'll make is food required and make everything like these guys into another object and make that optional. But I'm not building it, so I wasn't the one that building it. But the problem is that if you had this and then you upload something that doesn't have food, and the UI might get completely crazy. Okay, so the AI is going to autonomously choose whether to query food information. So let's take a look at what the query food information does. It takes a name and count. I don't know what the hell count means. So let's see if that's annotated at all. If I were that AI, I would get very confused. So count has excuse me, no description. That is weird. So let's see. Is that explained somewhere here? Well, it kind of alluded to it, but again, it's not explicit that the count is like the number of 100 grams that's contained in it. So very bad construction. It's a wonder that it still works, but that's again that's the fortunate and unfortunate fact about AI. And what else did it do? So it's gonna get data from food calorie data base. Okay, that's also a horrible name. A database is a database. This is just a table. You should call it. It should have been called like food calorie info or something, or food calorie density. But again, that's just try to name your tables well, and then if you have trouble doing that, use an AI. Right? This is a horrible name. Food calorie database is a horrible name for table because a table is a part of a database, and this is putting them on the same level. Anyways, and this is also bad. Euclidean names are not the best to use most of the time. Try to use cosine distance. Cosine measures the angular distance, and Euclidean measures the Euclidean distance. Usually, cosine distance is better because that kind of ignores the strength or the amplitude of each concept, but it's they are going the same direction, if you know what I mean. Like if the angle is the same, the direction is the same, but it just how far it goes, right? One might be like a man, the other one might be like a lot of men, right? Or like a large man. But these are fairly similar stuff. A large man, again, I maybe I should do something like a live stream on like the difference between these measurements. But for now, just trying to use cosine as much as possible. Usually yields better examples. But anyways, it's finding the top first, and that's also a bad thing. Usually, you want to get the top few, and because vector similarity is inherently a worse, it's cheaper but worse compared to letting any large language model to decide whether something is relevant. So usually would get like 3 or 5 of the top k. You get a top k, and top k equals 1 is one of the top k's, but it's a bad practice. So these projects that we're showing you now are how do you put it, horrendously constructed. So don't follow the example, and I'll try to get them fixed. Anyways, so we got the top one, and then we just output that top one. I guess it kind of works. The other way you can do it is you could just get another AI. Instead of an action flow, you get another AI to do a agentic lookup. That'd be the that's how I would have done it. And let's see what model it's using. It's using 4.0 mini. I mean, I would probably use 5 mini. It's equally cheap and hopefully a lot better. Otherwise, OpenAI should just go and kill themselves. Here, logging in. See what we get. We're gonna use the same massive barbecue feast and see how it does. Connection error. Fantastic. Let's see. Okay, now these are fairly common. So let's see what how the AI did. Set context, that's not bad. Oh, that's not bad. Yeah, this is a reason. It should have been should have used this thing here, subscription. It has completely ignored. No, it has not ignored my thing. It was that prompt itself is wrong. So really, it should have been using a different implementation to do subscription with GraphQL. So let's try to help the AI. The prompt itself was outdated, even though the instruction to generate the prompt was renewed. The prompt itself was outdated. And let's see if we just copied the first one, which I know is correct. It should have the proper yeah, okay, I found it. So it should Momen supports subscription through a sub-protocol called subscription transport WS, not GraphQL WS. Those are slightly different implementations of subscription based on, well, to support GraphQL subscription. And they have, well, they're different. That's as simple as that. And we're telling Lovable to not use that. And so hopefully we'll get it correct. Let's see what it does. WebSocket link. Okay, that's correct now. That's actually now correct. So let's try it again. It should have fixed it. Start planning. We'll get ourselves that massive feast. And analysis started. Please wait. Oh yeah, cool. So now we got it. We got the total calories. We got the calorie breakdown of individual foods. And we have a nutritional advice down here. And you can see that everything is structurally laid out because, well, we had structured output in Momen, and that's fairly easy to set up. Just like so, you got an array of calories, and then you got an array of nutritional advices. And that's, well, that's not an array, an object of nutritional advices. So that's that. That's not bad. Okay, so the last one. So the last one, let's try it out. It is a travel itinerary planner. It looks kind of odd because it has like this bar down the bottom. That's, again, typical AI for you. They usually don't get things perfect, but you can see the idea. So we're gonna log in. I might have I have an account already. So since I'm in Japan, I'm actually at the moment in Sasebo, where US has a naval base, but we're not gonna worry about Sasebo. I'm going to Nagasaki, Japan. I'm going there for 1 day, and I don't have $200. I have $2,200. All right, and I'm going there tomorrow. Actually, on Thursday, and I'm gonna click plan and see what comes out of it. These agentic workflows are without a visual backend like Momen is usually very difficult to build, because AIs are just pretty bad at doing multi-step workflows on the back end. So let's see what it does. Historical reflections and scenic views. Dining recommendation. Breakfast is in Falimart? What the hell? Okay, fine. Lunch is Shikaido. Why am I eating Chinese? But anyway. Sharing a single dish. Actually, no, it's not expensive. $7 per person, and then it's saying that it will exceed my $200 budget. Are you crazy? Drinks, local vendor dinner, Nagasaki, Chinatown. Wow, this thing loves China. Did I tell it that I'm Chinese? Wow, I don't know. That's way cheap for a $200 budget per day. Hostel Gazanoda or whatever. We are going to the atomic bomb history. All right, and then we're going to cultural explore Dejima Island. That is a lot of things to do in a day, but that's AI. So budget estimation is $80, even though we have allotted 200. Welcome to Japan. All right, so that's that. It probably doesn't work very well for one-day trips, because you can see this itinerary has a structure. Let's see why it has that structure. Okay, before we do that, we're going to regenerate this whole thing on Lovable. And again, we just copied. And before we actually click, I am going to check whether we have the correct. No, we don't have the. Okay, I'm gonna refresh and see if that's still the case. See if I have the correct thing here. No, yeah, that's wrong. So okay, so instead of doing that, we're gonna click view config and regenerate that. I'm gonna fix the actual prompt so that you don't have to recopy every time. I'm gonna copy this and generate the prompt. We get a correct one. Okay, so that's there. We paste it in and check out the actual content. Yeah, this is correct. We'll let it run. While it's running, let's take a look at what is inside AI Trip Planner. So it has an agent, obviously. It also, well, it has no action flow this time, but this time it has a nearby search, which uses Google Places, and geocoding, which uses Google API. So that's not too bad. We got a destination, number of days, start date, and budget. All right, that's not bad. Your trip planner. I'm going there. I will start at that state. I'm planning to stay for this number of days, and our budget is this number of dollars. And again, don't use Markdown. Try avoid Markdown inside Moment's prompt template, because Moment's prompt template uses Markdown itself to separate the role, the goal, and the constraint. And if you use Markdown as well, the AI is going to get very confused. It is a miracle itself it's working in the first place, but if I were a human, I would get very annoyed, if not angry, when I see these things. If I saw the same instruction that was given to the AI. Anyway, so it's gonna give some examples. Each day has a theme, and had dining recommendations. beverage recommendations, which you probably should not be there. It's kind of odd that you separate eating and drinking. But anyways, that's just the prompt. You can adjust all that to your cart's content. And where to stay, and that's that. Okay, so how does it decide? First of all, it's gonna call geocoding, and then it's gonna call like nearby search to that. So that is going to be seen here. Let's take a look at what this was sent. This was giving a response. Okay, doesn't matter. That's just that. This is the one, Nagasaki, Japan. That was the one that I just entered. Let's take a look at what the AI actually did. It called tools directly on. Okay, so it got some boundaries about where Nagasaki is. And let's see. Oh, that's not bad. That's not good, actually. That's not good at all. Without actually finding the stuff to do inside Nagasaki, it's relying on the agent's memory. So what really should have happened is that the AI should call a second round of tools like this. So in here, it's going to Chongqing, and it found where Chongqing is, and then it called 4 tools to figure out. Let's see what it did. It found some place. It tried to look for hotels, hostels, bed and breakfast near Chongqing, and then the next one is finding cafes and tea houses in Chongqing, and then here is restaurants and food courts in Chongqing, and then lastly, tourist attractions, museums, historical places in Chongqing. So that's actually a good planning. We should probably put those into our prompt, but I can't modify it. As I told you, I'm not actually the owner of these projects, but those should have been inside the prompt, telling the AI that you need to find out where the user is going, and also based on that location, look up what the points of interest near that location. But again, the bad prompt, bad projects, actually not too bad results, which is kind of, well, okay, so that's odd. That is very odd. That's not on me or the project, that's on Lovable. Let's refresh and see if it works. If it doesn't, okay, I am going to just take a screenshot, and I'm gonna tell Lovable it's all blank. Well, it's not all blank, it's mostly blank. Remember, you can give multi-model inputs. Not sure if Lovable takes in videos, but it certainly takes in images. That's not even the problem. And here lies another problem with AI. They will do crazy stuff. Again, see, that's not working. They will do crazy stuff. It will just come up with things that has nothing to do with anything. Like, what are you talking about? The problem here is CSS. Like, okay. And the other thing that I would recommend you do is, in the situation like this, stop messing with it, just regenerate. It's like rolling dice, and that is part of the frustration working with AI, because a lot of times it's just cheaper to regenerate the entire thing rather than to iterate on top of existing broken solutions. And another thing that you need to be mindful of is we started off with something like 40, 45. Now we're down to 24. So I've already spent like $5 just generating some stuff. We didn't even generate that much of complex stuff. Just reasonably, well, reasonable is a very subjective word, but let's say we had something that has a login, that has an agentic workflow, which is mostly on the back end, but it might have multi-model inputs. It might have structured output, which needs to be displayed in a structured way. It has some subscription, which involves web sockets, and that's about it. And I think we generated three projects. We regenerated the last one, so it's 4 generations. And for one of them, there was some error that I had to give Lovable instructions to fix. So let's count it as another one. So we basically did 5 generations. That was it. And that costed us about $5. Yeah, so quite expensive. $1 per generation. You do get 5 free Lovable credits per day, though. It caps out at like 30 per month. So that's like approximately $6 of free credits per month. Let's wait for it. And in the meantime, if you do have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I don't charge any money for the questions, I'm saying. I do charge money for Momen itself. Okay, we're speeding up the preview. Let's see if we can finish this preview before the end of the hour. Go, 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 Lovable. Since we're waiting, I'm also gonna introduce you to some of the other things that we did in Momen. So one of the things that which I'm gonna demo next live stream is an AI database schema builder. So that will help you to build the database on behalf of you, given some requirements. The other thing that's quite interesting is we do have bring your own model. So given, like, if you paid me for enough, you can import your own models, like Cohere over here, or some OpenAI models, and all you need to give me is your API key. And the other interesting thing is that you can now use Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview. That's actually also known as Nano Banana, and that's actually quite an interesting model. It generates fairly interesting images that are I don't know how they do it, but it's really well controlled. We also have some other things like, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Quen, I think people call it Quen. Quen 3 is pretty good too, so you can use those. Okay, so Lovable is done now this time, and this time it does not have a CSS issue. And we're gonna click join, start planning. And this time, instead of Nagasaki, I am going to just say Kyushu. And we're gonna say from today onwards for 7 days for $2,000. Well, actually, that's a lot of money. $1,500. Even though it's not real money, it still pains me to input such a large value. Oh, here we go. So we're gonna go to historical and cultural tour, and we're gonna eat. I mean, this rendering is kind of bad, but here we go. It is AI in the end. Mizutaki. Actually, I ate this. It's not bad. You should, yeah. If you were in Fukuoka, you should try it. Fukuoka, Hakata, it's the same thing, basically. And play. And I mean, the problem with an output like this is that on the user interface, it looks bad. And that is why you should really try something like that. And again, looking at this, all the names are bad. It's just, I don't know what the hell this actually means. Detail? Well, at least name it details, or per day plans. What the hell is a day number? And what the hell why is additional tips? Why does additional tips have an A as a capital letter? So it's all very messed up. And those are the things that you should try to pay attention to when you're constructing your project. You can stick with the same convention. It could be like, additional tips. That's fine. This is called snake case. Or you can do additional tips. This is called a camel case. These are all fine, but don't like alternate between them. And also, even if you were to write day number, it should have been either day number or day underscore number. Right? Pick the one you want and stick with it, and don't alternate, because it's just useless additional information that increases cognitive load of whoever is trying to edit your project or trying to comprehend your project. Okay, so we have exhausted the hour. I've also almost exhausted my credits. Now I have 22 left. Enough for another 5 generations of projects on Lovable, I think. And tomorrow I probably should see you again, and I don't think we have time for any questions. So good morning, evening, night, goodbye to everyone who joined. Bye.